Hey, beautiful soul. This is Katie with the channel Weather Shaman. Welcome if you're new, and a big hello to my returning subscribers. Today I am outside in nature, prepared to do a Q&A for you. I want to thank each and every one of you who submitted questions for this Q&A video. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question I received is from Belle Aim, my dear friend Amy and soul sister from my college days. Shout out, Amy. Love you, girl. Amy said, have you ever experienced burnout, especially with content creation? And how have you learned to continue forward? Yes, absolutely. I have experienced burnouts, plural. There have been times where I receive creative blocks and I'm not sure of what videos to produce next. And I start to feel discouraged and have no idea what direction to head in, and I get very exhausted. So during those times, I usually need to take a step back, recharge, rest, get outside into nature more, like I'm doing today. This actually helps to rejuvenate my mind, body, and soul, and helps to plant new ideas and new information into my consciousness. New video ideas are often channeled to me in nature when I'm outside, but when I'm stuck inside the four walls for too long, this can really block me creatively. So I've been trying to get outside into nature more to get more video ideas for you all on this channel, and that's what really helps me. And also to watch other YouTubers who inspire me and learn from them and get ideas from them and merge them into my own ideas to create something totally new. So yeah. Thank you for submitting that question, Amy. Okay, Choco Kitty says, hi, Katie. What is your favorite childhood memory? Okay, my favorite childhood memory that comes to mind is Disney World, going to Disney World. I loved going to Magic Kingdom and seeing all of the Disney characters like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, okay, and going on all of the rides and the adventure and Epcot Center, and just really being able to enjoy life and just to have fun and to laugh and not worry about all the stresses of everyday life. And I had the privilege of going to Disney World a few times, but those are my favorite childhood memories for sure, is Disney World vibes. Thank you for submitting your question, Choco Kitty. And if there's any other Disney World lovers out there, please let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your feedback, or if you can relate to any of the ways I'm answering these questions. Ayesha. Okay, I have a couple of questions from Ayesha. I wanted to ask, what kinds of doubts plague you on your path, and how do you find your way back? How often does this happen? I know it happens with me almost all of the time, and I have to keep finding myself back home. And it does get easier with time. Thank you so much for your time. Blessings. Okay. Blessings to you too, beautiful soul. So the kinds of doubts that plague me on my path are my videos good enough? Am I creating enough videos? Is the content good enough quality? Is this really helping people? Are people really benefiting from the work that I'm doing? Am I on the right path? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And so when those doubts creep in and I start to have fear or a lack of confidence or doubt, I'll go into prayer and meditation and pray and ask God, the divine, for answers. And I'll pause and wait until I receive guidance. And oftentimes when these types of doubts arise, out of the blue, a new client will come into my path and reaffirm that the work I'm doing is helping them, is helping the world, is helping humanity. And that's what keeps me going, is knowing that I'm able to be of service to others and that the work that I'm doing is helping to empower other people, especially during my life coaching sessions, especially during my Reiki healing sessions, whether this be online through Zoom or in person. When I get positive feedback from all of my clients about how they feel so much more healed, empowered, excited about life, and they experience miracles, that just brings me so much joy and reaffirms that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I think the hardest part is applying everything that I share with others into my own life. It's so easy for me to help others on this journey and to be a light for others, but when it comes to helping myself and being a light for myself, that can be a little harder and challenging at times. So I'm trying to find a balance in taking care of myself and taking care of others. If you can relate to this, please let me know in the comment section. And second question from Ayesha is, do you have any experience with mediumship? What can you tell us about it, if any? I would love to hear what you have to say in the Q&A. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, so I like to think of my experiences around mediumship as channeling. So, and a lot of times when this happens, it's out of my control. It just happens whether I like it to or not. So for me, I don't force communication with the other side. The other side in the spirit realm, they'll just communicate with me on their time, and I'll just be an open channel and receive messages for other people. So I'll just be driving down the road, dancing and singing to some awesome music in the car, doing my own thing, just cruising. And then all of a sudden I'll start hearing clairaudience or voices from the other side. Okay, and usually this is from deceased loved ones. I've experienced this with my grandfather, with one of my dear friends, her mother channeled to me, another friend, her father channeled to me. With clients, I can hear their loved ones communicate with me too sometimes during their Reiki sessions. So when I'm doing Reiki on a client, oftentimes a deceased loved one or friend that's passed will come to me with messages to give my client at the end of their session. But it's not something that I like to force. I want it to happen naturally, if and when it's supposed to happen in divine timing. So I allow the spirit world to just open up that communication. And it's interesting because the beings in the spirit world know that I'm a channel. So a lot of times it can get overwhelming because I'll get messages even when I don't want to receive them, like when I'm at the grocery store or when I'm in the middle of something or when I'm trying to just relax and go to sleep at night. Sometimes I'll hear messages in the middle of the night when I'm really trying to sleep, and I'll try to ignore them. And the voice gets louder and louder and louder until I finally give in and write it down or send that text message to whoever it is they're trying to communicate with. Okay. And so it's a gift and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing to be able to hear so clearly messages from the other side and be able to help people and give them love and reassurance and guidance. But at the same time, it can be overwhelming when you hear all this stuff from the spirit world in conjunction with what's going on this 3D earth plane. So yeah, that's my experiences. It happens whether I like it or not during client sessions or just when I'm driving or running errands for friends or family. And sometimes I'll doubt the messages that I'm receiving and not sure if it's just, a fabrication of my imagination. But as soon as I send the message I received to somebody or my client or my friend or whoever it is, they're like, wow, how did you know they called me that name when I was a kid? Or how did you know that happened? And I'll be like, I didn't know. Like, that's just what I received to tell you. That's the message I received. So I've learned to just trust whatever it is that comes in and just relay the information, because I've found that it really, really helps bring people comfort that are having a hard time with the grieving process and having a hard time of integrating all of that trauma of losing people they love. So yeah, that's my experiences with the whole channeling mediumship stuff. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you so much for submitting your questions, Aisha. I appreciate you, beautiful soul. Kenneth Williams asks, when I listen to your videos, my anxiety drifts away. How do I keep this state when I have to be in a stressful environment like at work? Thanks. So this is a really, really good question. So yeah, it's so much easier to manage anxiety when you're in a controlled environment, like at your home or in your car or in your own space. But when you're in somebody else's environment, like a work environment or corporate environment, or, a huge store like, God forbid, Walmart, or a huge, huge store with a lot of people, it can be a lot harder. What helps me is carrying essential oils with me everywhere I go, carrying crystals on my body. Also, I try to make sure I have headphones with me everywhere I go. So if I need to tune out somebody, a person, place, or thing, or something unpleasant, I can just put my earbuds in and I can just put on some calming music to try to tune all that out. That is what has really helped me in work environments in my past. Okay. So essential oils like lavender can be really calming to the mind, body, and soul. So those are some tactics that I've used. And also, if you're getting like a panic attack or anxiety at work, what I found when I was in the work environment is I would just go to the bathroom and hide out for 5-10 minutes and just take a few deep breaths. It would be like my sacred space is just going into one of the stalls and just being alone and just breathing. And if I was able to get outside for 5-10 minutes, I would do that and take off my shoes and just kind of recenter. So those are some ways that I have coped in my past work environments. The last corporate type job I had was in 2017, and I lost that job, and I was very, very stressed out in the last year of that job. I had anxiety a lot, but those were the ways that I coped. And yeah, essential oils, crystals, headphones, just any way that you can ground and center yourself, and just setting healthy boundaries with coworkers, okay? Setting healthy boundaries. It's okay. You don't need to take your work home with you, okay? And just know that everything's working out in divine order, okay? And ask yourself, is this job still serving you? If you're having anxiety, is this job really meant for you? I would go into prayer and meditation about that and ask yourself, is this job still serving me, or am I maybe needed somewhere else? Or what are some ways I can lessen the stress at work? Could I talk to my boss or my coworkers about alleviating some stress? Okay, so just some things to think about. Kenneth, I'm sending you so much love and good vibes and positivity, beautiful soul. Okay, one moment at a time. Thank you, Kenneth. Much love. Glenda Chastain said, you mentioned that you were a vegetarian. When did you become vegetarian and why? So the last time I ate meat was in 2016, and a lot of things contributed to my going vegetarian. I was trying to make healthier choices in my diet at the time because I was on a weight loss journey, and I heard a lot of good things about going vegetarian. So that was one reason. Also, I began watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters Diving Deep, who helped to inspire me to escape the matrix and start this YouTube channel and start my own businesses. And I'm so grateful to him. He talks about the amount of brutality that is done to the animals that are mass produced for food for humans. And this isn't the case with all animals. I mean, you have open range and free range, of course, and those animals are treated okay for food production. But a lot of the animals, the way that they are produced for food, they're mistreated, and there's so many brutal conditions. And the last year of teaching, when I was teaching science, I had to teach this to my students. It was part of the mandatory curriculum of teaching them exactly what horrible conditions animals go through before they're slaughtered and killed for food production. And it kind of freaked me out, and it kind of traumatized me to see just how much mistreatment most animals go through for food production. So kind of grossed me out. That was another thing. And also, I just intuitively felt like it was time for me to make a shift in my life. And I discovered that eating more plant-based foods would shift me to a higher frequency, and I started to have more energy. So at first I just did it as a test to see how it would feel. So I gave up meat and started eating more plant-based foods, and I was like, wow, I have more energy. I feel more alive. And I started losing weight, and I just started feeling better about myself. So I just kept on the journey. But I have so many friends that I love dearly who still eat meat, and I respect that, and they respect where I am. And it's just whatever is true for you. Everybody has something that works for them, and I respect everybody's path in life. But I just know for me personally, going vegetarian has been a huge positive impact in my life. The main thing I've learned, though, the hard way, is I have to make sure I'm getting plenty of protein. So if you decide to go vegetarian, just make sure you're getting plenty of protein, because there have been times in my vegetarian journey where I didn't really know what plant-based protein sources were available, and there would be times I would get really hypoglycemic and shaky. But I've learned to always have veggie burgers, vegan chicken, tofu, hummus, things like that, protein bars, protein shakes on hand, and take them with me when I go places so that I don't get super hungry if there's a place I stop at that doesn't have vegetarian options. I think the hardest part about being vegetarian is that a lot of restaurants don't have vegetarian options, but I've learned to get creative where I'll order side items or order salads, or modify one of the main entrees and say, hey, can you just take off the meat and just give me everything else on this entree or plate without the meat? And usually if you ask them, they'll do it for you. So I've learned to get creative and kind of customize my own plates at restaurants. But hopefully that answers your question. Thank you, Glenda. Great question. All right, let's see. Genesis M. How was the transition into your Reiki shamanic path? Wow. Well, the transition into my Reiki shamanic path. Okay, well, first, I went from being a broadcast meteorologist on TV and radio, then to being a teacher, okay, at a university, a teacher assistant and research assistant in graduate school. Then I went into science teaching full-time after that for years. And then after losing my job in 2017, my last job that I had as a science teacher, I was devastated. I went through the dark night of the soul. I was so depressed. I didn't think I was ever going to find happiness again. I had no idea what to do with my life. I had spent 10, 11 years of getting college diplomas and degrees. I mean, I have a bachelor's, a master's, and another graduate degree on top of that. And I was so depressed because I had never lost a job my entire life. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? Like, I felt like a failure. I felt like my life was crumbling down. I felt like I had nothing to offer the world. And I was just so depressed. Like, I didn't want to be here anymore. But then I had a dream where I was surrounded by angels. I was sent to the heavenly realms, so to speak, into what looked like a heavenly courtroom. There was no ceiling. It was just this beautiful courtroom filled with angels and gold and shimmer. And like I said, there was no ceiling. It was just beautiful, infinite sky above. And I felt so free. This was in the dream. And I was happy because I thought that I had finally escaped from the pains of earth. And then an angel came over to me and put its wing around me and said, Caitlin, that's my legal full birth name, Caitlin, remember why you came here to earth. You must finish your mission. You must finish to set out what you came here to do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And the angelic being, it was androgynous. There was no male or female. The angel was saying, Caitlin, remember, you agreed to come to planet Earth to aid in lessening the suffering of humanity across the globe. Remember why you came to Earth. And then the angel automatically shifted my focus down on the globe. We were above the earth and had me listen and hear every cry, scream, pain, and prayer all at the same time. I was able to hear every cry and scream and everybody who was in pain and suffering all at once, and I just couldn't take it anymore. It was awful. I said, stop, I can't do this anymore. I can't hear this anymore. It's too much pain. And this angel said, you know, Caitlin, fear not, for we're with you and we're guiding you and we're protecting you and you're so loved. But remember your mission, remember why you came, and it will be okay. And I started crying, and this angel consoled me and hugged me. And the next thing I knew, I was shoved back down to earth, and I woke up abruptly and I was in tears, and I was like, oh God, I don't want to be back here. But then shortly after that, I started to see that I was needed for a much deeper purpose. And then I was led to Reiki classes. And I first honestly was led to Reiki classes to try to heal myself because I was so depressed. But then it led me to realize that I could share this Reiki with others on YouTube and help people who are also in pain and who are also suffering. And it led me to my purpose of becoming a Reiki master and a life coach. And after getting all of my Reiki attunements and certifications in Reiki 1, 2, Master and Master Teacher, I started to see that other Reiki masters were getting into shamanic healing. And all of a sudden I manifested shamanic healing courses at Earth Star Spiritual Center, and I started taking classes there and became a shaman master, a shamanic life coach, and then I got into crystal healing, self-empowerment dowsing courses, just a little bit of everything. And I started to feel more empowered, and I started to see I was able to use all this work to help others. And that's when I launched my businesses online, in person, as a life coach, as a Reiki master. You know, I work with clients, I connect with them one-on-one for coaching, for past life regression, for Reiki healing, to balance and align their chakras, to help them to get more into alignment with their true soul purpose, to help them start their own YouTube channels. 99% of my clients who work with me end up starting their own YouTube channels. I help guide them into getting started, helping them to find their passion and their purpose. And it's just amazing to be able to see all the people that I work with have their own YouTube channels now, and they're just soaring and doing so awesome at life. And they inspire me to keep going and to keep creating. And I learn from them. And they have shown me so much love. And we've collectively helped to heal one another because it's a two-way street. Every client that's sent to me is divinely sent. It's just a beautiful thing. So yeah, pain is what led to my Reiki and shamanic path, and it's helped to heal me and to heal others, and I'm so grateful for that. The recovery journey, now that started a long time ago. So in 2013 is when I had my last drink of alcohol. I was in a lot of pain, a lot of pain, and alcohol was the only way I knew how to cope with life. I was just so stressed out, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I didn't know how to cope, so I was self-medicating. And at first I'd started drinking on the weekends, working hard during the week, and it was manageable for a while. But then in the end, the last year, I started to be drinking every single night, and it got to be really unmanageable. And I had a near-death experience, accidentally went through something very traumatic. I woke up in a fire. I was rescued by firefighters. I was told I was hypoxic and I could die if I didn't go to the hospital because of all the smoke that I had inhaled overnight in this fire, that all started from mac and cheese being left on the stove for too long. And then passing out. It was really scary. But I was so depressed at the time and intoxicated when they found me. I refused to go to the hospital. I signed a life waiver. I somehow survived that and still went to work the next day like nothing had happened. And then shortly after that, I started to have more incidents related and tied to drinking too much alcohol. And it got to be embarrassing because I was having blackouts and not remembering the horrible, embarrassing things I did the night before. It started to impact my health. I got up to 254 pounds. I started to have problems with my heart. I started to have problems with my blood pressure. I started to just shut down physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It was awful. I didn't see a way out until my workplace at the time did an intervention and sent me to the hospital. And then I agreed to go to rehab. And then I started doing 12-step fellowship meetings, and I've been doing meetings ever since, and it's saved my life. And I'm so grateful to everybody who has assisted me on my recovery journey. And if I make it to April 26th of this year, it'll be 10 years since I last had a drink of alcohol by the grace of God. And I couldn't have done it without my higher power, the universe, the divine, the God of my understanding, and without each and every person that God has put in my path to love me and support me through this journey. So yeah. And do you have any tips on managing anxiety or being an empath in society? Yes. Know your trigger points. Know what people, places, and things cause the anxiety, and try to find a way to limit how much time you spend around those people, places, and things, and know that you have a choice as to where you go. Like for me, I know that going to the grocery store during the day is way too chaotic. There's too many people, too many kids screaming. It's just too loud. I can't handle it. So if I have to go to the grocery store, I either go late at night right before they close when nobody's there, or first thing in the morning, or I order my groceries online and get them delivered to my door. That's one way that I cope. If I have to go out somewhere and I can't avoid it, I bring essential oils with me, crystals with me. I pray and meditate, take deep breaths, and bring headphones so I can tune out outside noise and distractions, and that really helps me. And also to be gentle with myself and always have an escape route. I've always learned that if you're going to go somewhere with a bunch of people, it's good to drive separately so that you can leave if you need to leave early. I've always learned it's better to drive separately so you can get out if you need to. Having an escape route is so important. So yeah, thank you so much, Genesis for submitting those awesome questions. Those were deep and powerful. And thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Look at the sunset behind me. Oh, taking all this beautiful solar energy, beautiful soul. I'm sending you so much positivity, love, light, and healing. So if any of what I said resonated with you, or you would like to hear more about certain aspects of my life, please let me know in the comment section below this video. I would love to produce more content like this for you if it's something you're interested in. What kind of video ideas do you have for the future on this channel? I'd like to know your feedback. What kind of videos are your favorite on this channel? Okay, what would you like to see more of? And I just want to thank all of you who have recently become channel members on this channel. If you would like to join this channel to get more exclusive perks, early access to videos, and also private posts and updates and extra content, click join next to subscribe. I'd love for you to be on board and to be part of that tribe as well. And I want to thank everybody who has joined: Patty the Healer, David Jones, Ayesha S., and ASMR Shar Positive Energy. Thank you so much, channel members. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And also, if you become a member on this channel, you get priority reply to your comments. So there's that too. And you get little badges next to your name with little stars. They're like super cute. Okay, so I want to thank you so much to each and every one of you who submitted questions to this Q&A. I'm sending you an abundance of peace, love, and light from me to you. Have a wonderful, blessed day or evening, wherever you are in the world at the time of this video. Namaste, and much love from me to you.